When using Action Network as an organization, coalition, or campaign, you'll want to organize yourself as a group. Groups are a way for your organization to have a branded presence on the Action Network, to publish actions, and build an organizational email list. They're also another way the Action Network makes it easy for you to work together. You can have multiple members of your team, all with their own individual accounts, working together in your group. All of your group members should be people who you want to be able to create actions with your brand. That may be staff or sometimes it's volunteers, but it's generally not just a bunch of your supporters. To create a new group, go to the Start Organizing menu and click Create Group. Then you'll give your group a name. If you'd like to have a location associated with your group, you can put in your postal code here. Then you can add a banner image or your logo to make your group's page very clearly branded with all of your organizational information. And then you'll put in the description of your group. Usually, this is just a quick description of your organization or the mission statement, something like that. So we'll type in a quick description here. As with all of our actions and pages, you can use this formatting toolbar right up here to customize the appearance of your text and the page. Under the description box, you may see this other drop-down menu, prompting you to select a parent group. If you're a partner using the Action Network with our Networks feature, you have the option to nest this new group under another parent group and bring it into your network. So select the parent group from this menu, if this should be a subgroup in your network. If you leave this blank, this group will be created separate from your network. The rest of the content on this page shows you what your group page will look like to the public. So for instance, scroll down and you'll see a list of the actions or campaign pages that your group has created. And over here on the right is a button where someone could apply to join your group. It's worth noting that while the group pages are public, they're not all that easy for random people to stumble upon unless they're searching for you in our Find a Group feature. The Join Group button is most often utilized by folks in your organization who need to get access. But if you do get an application from someone who is a supporter but not someone who should be in your group, you'll be able to send them a message to engage them in other ways. You can also turn off the option to apply for a group membership in the Settings tab in your group, which we'll see in just a minute. Once you're done here, click the Save and Publish button. You'll be prompted to set this group as your home page. If you say yes, when you log into Action Network, you'll see your group page automatically, rather than the dashboard for your individual account. And if you say yes, any action you create will be sponsored by your group by default, though you can change this for individual actions as needed. I'll say no for now. Now you're on your group's management page. You can always access this from your personal dashboard. You'll see a list of your groups, and just click the button to manage whichever group you want to work with. Here, under the title, you'll see options to view your group page or to edit it. You can also use the Unpublish button to put your group back into draft mode. This won't delete it, and all of your data will be preserved, but it will no longer be live, and you won't be able to create any new actions within the group while it's in draft. This group management page is where you can see everything that's going on with your group, but we don't have any data in this new group yet. So let's jump over to the management page for my other group for this part. We'll go back to the dashboard and click to manage my other group. See, this is what I was just talking about. You'll see this group and click the Manage button for the group you want to access. So the first thing you'll want to do after creating your group is to add in your other team members. You can do this here in the Invitations tab. You'll also see any pending invitations or people who have applied to join the group. Up here, put in the email address for your colleague's Action Network account, and they'll be added to your group as an organizer. Let's pause here to discuss the roles of your group members. People in your group can be an administrator or an organizer. Admins have access to the work of the full group, including actions, the group's list and data, and they can send an email to the group's full list, etc. You can also limit an admin's individual access so that they can't send emails or only have the ability to pull reports. We'll look at how to do that in just a second. You can also have people in your group who are organizers. Organizers can create actions with the group's branding, and as they do so, all of the data will flow up to the full group list, as well as going onto their individual list. Then, organizers only have access to the data that they bring in. So, rather than being able to access your group's entire list, they can only send out emails to or pull reports on the people who have RSVP'd to their events or signed their petition. This is great for when you have field organizers, for instance, or other regional staff, who you want to be able to organize around your organization's issues and create actions, but not necessarily be in charge of communication with your organization's entire list. Now, once you've invited people, click over to the Organizers tab. You can see there's administrators and organizers. This page shows you everyone that's working with you in this group. Right now, it's just me. At the admin level, you can use this green button to edit someone's permissions, as I mentioned just a couple seconds ago. Here, uncheck the boxes as needed to remove particular permissions from someone. You can change whether people can edit the settings, whether they can send an email on your group's behalf, whether they're able to pull all your report data, if they can access the activist search and add or edit individual records, the ability to overwrite custom field data, or the ability to use syndication, which we'll talk about in a sec. When you're done here, click Save Permissions. Back in the list here, use this blue button to move somebody from an admin back down to the organizer level. If someone is an organizer, there's a similar button that lets you promote them to an admin. Use the red button over here to remove the person from the group entirely. And use this little envelope icon to send that person a message. Now that we have all the people on our group set, let's look at what else you can see from the group's management page. First, we see our statistics. Here you'll see the size of your email list over time. Under the graph, we'll show you how many people are new to your list just in the last week, as well as how many actions people have taken in the last week, and if anyone has unsubscribed recently. Below that, you'll see your fundraising statistics. We'll show you the total amount you've raised and the total number of donations, along with how many recurring donations you have, and our projection for how much money you'll raise this month based on current one-time and recurring donations. The next tab is for actions. Here, you'll see all of the actions that you've created with your group. They'll be identified by the type of action, like letter campaign or event. And you can see the name of the individual who created the action, whether that's you or someone else in your group. And you'll see the number of people who have taken action. If your action is published, you'll see this blue Manage button, or if the action is in draft form, you'll see a red Edit button. Click those to be taken to the Action Management page or to edit your action as needed. There's also this gray Duplicate button. You can use this to create a copy of your action that you can then edit and publish. This is great for things like recurring monthly meetings, where all you have to do is update the date and time. You'll also see over here the Create a Sponsored Action menu. Use the buttons here to create a new action that is sponsored by your group. You can always create actions from the Start Organizing menu and add your group as a sponsor, but it's a good idea to get in the habit of creating your actions from here so that you never miss that step and the data is always sent to your group. Next, you'll see the tab for emails and reports. Here, you'll see a list of all the emails you've sent, and you can go into the management page for an email or duplicate an email. Click this green Stats button to see how your email performed at a glance, and click this green Email Stats button to get a spreadsheet showing the performance of all the emails you've sent. Below that is your reports. Here, you'll see any reports you've created, and you can duplicate a report, edit the report parameters, or click to see the results again. Your next tab is for syndication. This is just for partners who are using our toolset as part of a network. If you are a subgroup in a network, your parent group can create emails or actions and then send them down to you and other subgroups to suggest that you send them out with your own branding and name attached to it. If an email or action has been syndicated to your group, you'll see those here. You'll also get an email and see a red notification on this tab when materials are sent to you. If you're interested in learning more about networks, please visit actionnetwork.org/partnership. Next in the tabs is your discussion board. This is an internal board where you can do planning or make comments to your fellow group members. Unlike the discussion board on events, this one is private. We've already gone over these organizers and invitations tabs, so the next one we'll look at is network. Again, this is just for groups using our networks feature, but in here you'll see the groups in your network and their relationships. And lastly is settings. Here, use this checkbox to turn off that Join Group button we saw earlier so that nobody can apply to join the group. In this case, the only way people will be able to join is if an administrator adds them. Under that, you'll see an email settings piece. When you create a new email, you'll be prompted to put in the sender's name and a reply to email address. If you have a sender and reply address that you use pretty much every time you send out an email blast, you can add that here, and we'll add it in as your default. You can also add a standard sign-off in here. Be sure to check out the group section at help.actionnetwork.org if you have any questions or to learn about any of our other features.